Hey, let's talk about
Yeah.
when you think about authenticity and leadership. You know, I don't think that this is talked about enough. And because I don't know that people know how to do it well. They, like, there's this, I see from my vantage point that there's a stigma on I'm the leader, I'm the boss, I'm in charge. I'm going to I'm going to gavel it, right? And go do it. And versus, hey, I'm going to just be me and I happen to be in a leadership position. And you want to come work on my team? Like, there's a difference. And there's a human element to it versus
Yeah.
a position
I
element is what I'm trying to get at.
I think a lot of that has to do with history as well, because authenticity can go so far as a leader. As growing up, you've got to see leaders around you, right? So you've got your strong leaders and you've got your weak leaders. We've all seen the guys that we want to
Yeah.
be, and we've all seen the guys that we don't want to be. We can learn something from both guys. So you take those strong guys and you're like, okay, I want to be like this guy. What aspects do I like? I don't want to be like this guy. So what is it I don't like about his leadership skills? And then you bring that into how you are as a person. So a good example for me is as doing a parachute demonstration into a really small drop zone, and it's surrounded by people. Like, if you mess up, you're landing on somebody and either injuring them or something worse. And I have a guy on the plane. It's high winds. It's a small drop zone, and he's freaking out. So you got to kind of have that emotional intelligence to realize that you've got a guy that is his head's not in the game. So you go over, you start talking to him, and you talk him down and give him the comfort. Hey, you can stay on the plane. Like, there's nothing. Nobody's going to think any worse of you, but we need you out there. And if we didn't think you could do this, we wouldn't have you here. And you've got to give him that confidence, build him up enough to get him out. And he ends up doing the jump. He lands right beside me with, I have a 1,000 square foot American flag. So it was, I think, 20 by what? No, actually, it might have been 30 by 30. So it's 30 by 30. And I'm landing on
Yeah.
a football field with people. So the flag's taking up half the drop zone by itself. And this guy nailed it. So it was just recognizing, because of my
Mm-hmm.
own personal experience of being that shy guy to being that insecurities, that I went over, was able to talk him and relax him, whereas other guys were working him up, like high winds. We're all jammed.
Yep.
We're doing this. Some guys can do that, but he wasn't that guy. So we had to calm him down and get him out the aircraft, and he was one of
That's
our
amazing.
on the spot guys.
Yeah.
So,
T- Go ahead, Tyler.
oh yeah.
So it's it's a weird balance. So originally I started my job
Mm-hmm.
with like I think we had like a team of 15, maybe 20. That was an amazing environment and I could be the friend boss, the friend director and get along with everybody and stuff like that. We grew to 176. Then things became difficult at that level. Like I couldn't just be if I'm friends with Kyle over here, I had to be friends with Tim over there. Like I can't show favoritism. Then it became even more difficult when, let's say, Tim, the guy I was friends with, does something wrong, and now all of a sudden I need to change my hat to be in the disciplinarian, or it'd be his direct line supervisor, but so it's a fine balance, and I think as we grew, still wanted to be everybody's friend, and then but after we grew past a certain point, I knew that was not an option. Like I had to have my work time, and then I have my work time off where I make friends. I, especially in the DoD system, I couldn't wear both hats of being a friend and a boss or a director. I had to, and I didn't do well at it. And it kind of set me back a little bit, I think. But that was a big struggle. Like it was like, well, hell, I want to be your friend, but I can't be your friend. And it's not like I can talk to one of my 176 employees and like, hey, let's go have a beer after work. Like you just couldn't do it because of rules and regulations within the DoD, that type of stuff. So it's a tricky slope to figure out whether you're a friend, whether you're dictator, not dictator, but director. You could say dictator because ultimately, like you write the policy, right? So it was a tricky route to navigate, and I don't even think I perfected it whatsoever
Yeah,
in my
it
my
is,
time
it
there.
is.
So
You know what I found out about this is sometimes what you say what you don't say is more important than what you do say. Right? I had a
Yeah.
guy that is one of my dudes and one of my mentors. He was on this podcast. His name's Bill Wilder. And the amount of years of acceleration of leadership I've learned from him that he has poured into me is, I don't know how I'll ever repay him or thank him for it, like just to be candid, of what he's done for me personally in my life. He shared with me one day, just in the stories of life, of sometimes it's more important what you don't say than what you do say in moments. Like when you have those moments, and we all know what those moments mean when you're in like the heat of the thing. And sometimes the subtlety of not saying anything is more powerful than what you do say. And
I think that's when your authenticity comes out more than ever, is when it's in the heat of the moment. And it's not that other leader that you're hearing,
yeah,
it's
and
your true self coming out.
I'm not shy. This probably surprises you guys. I'm not shy.
you started our first date with showing me your socks. Like,
But and I'm passionate, right? Like if I see something out of spec, out of line, or I don't agree with, I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to fight for what I believe is right. And fight is like, doesn't mean like let's duke it out. It's like I'm going to exude that into the environment I'm in, and I'm going to stand up for it. And I don't care if you have a bigger title than me. I don't, like, none of that matters. It's you're a person and I'm a person, and I'm going to call a spade on how I see it from my angle. It's really going to be one of those things that I just am always going to be hold true to myself. And then when you have those moments and people know and they anticipate that to come from me, and they look like they literally expect you to like have your moment, and you're just like, and they're like, oh, like that's actually more profound and powerful than actually saying anything. And that was also reinforced to me by
100%.
another one of my leaders named Mike Ray. So
real quick, Cory, can we go
yeah,
across
I'm
like
just going to
Mike
ask you
Ray
guys,
is a
yeah,
big leader to you?
who do you guys look up to?
Yeah,
Like that literally was my next
yeah,
question.
Cory. Oh, okay, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
he's leading this, and then yeah. Okay, Cory, go.
So Keith Walter, one of my team leaders from the parachute demonstration team, he was a big influence on my life as far as leading jumpers jumping out of airplanes. Where I've
Time out.
done Normandy, I've done
You've
high
jumped
wind
onto
and
Normandy Beach.
stressful situations. Yeah, I've jumped onto Normandy. I've also done a OSS jump, which was the first special operations before Green Berets, before Delta, before all of them, and they jumped into a southern France, and they did a blacked out blind DZ. It was round parachutes, but I was the first American in 75 years to jump onto that drop zone with some other of that
All
branch,
right,
the
hold on.
CIA branch
I
type
I need
guys.
to wrap my brain around that.
This is why I'm the proud little brother,
I
like
just
sitting over here, and it's like, dude, tell more. Like,
time out. Like I knew you've jumped a lot, and I know about like a grain of sand about
Yeah.
you. And I think this camera might be able to pick it up. See that? Dell sent me this camera. You can literally see goosebumps on my arm. Can you see that? I mean, that's how kick-ass this camera
Yeah.
is. I just got
Yeah.
goosebumps, and I had to show you. Holy crap, look at that quality of that. You can literally see the goosebumps on my arm.
yeah.
Holy
Those are
crap.
good quality
Dude,
goosebumps.
Yeah.
you.
So the 80th is coming up this year
Oh
as
my God.
well.
Like,
So
I
that's a
literally
big,
have. Like,
big
I tell
event.
people I get goosebumps on this show from stories, and, like, I finally have something that can actually pick it up and I can show people that I'm not kidding. Dude,
I've been very fortunate as a
I am
jumper, for
thrilled
sure.
to be able to like let
So
people hear that story on this podcast. And like I can't believe what I just heard. Will you please repeat it?
So I jump into Normandy and the other OSS drop zone with a 600 square foot American flag. It's a 20-foot by 30-foot American flag that hangs below me while I fly my parachute and land on the drop zone. Just to show the American aspect that we played a big part in that and recognizing all those guys that went before us. So huge recognition to everybody,
Dude, they just came
everything
back.
that they did
I
before
told
us.
you I got goosebumps and they just came back. I can't like
Yeah, it's an honor for
oh
sure.
man, this is why I do this stuff, man, is to be able to introduce the world to the Corys and the Tylers
Yeah.
of the world.
You know what what's annoying about having a brother named Cory is like Sunday morning Fox News is airing Cory jumping into some, what was it, Joey Jones, some event or something. But my phone's blowing up and I'm trying to sleep in and I'm like, what is going on? And I'm like, I don't
No,
care that my brother's on Fox News. Leave me
man,
alone.
I
Like
feel
like
privileged.
I appreciate it, guys. Going back to taking the deflecting a little bit, back to my
Yeah.
leadership that I'm talking about is he's the one that taught me when to say no jump, right? We like to say a no jump is better than a bad jump. So if I don't say no, somebody could land in the crowd. I may be 100% confident that I'm going to land on the 50-yard line of that LSU Alabama game, but the guys around me, there may be one guy, like I talked about, the one guy that was a little nervous, a little anything. If I don't think he can do it, is the juice worth the squeeze? Like we don't need. You can land on the 50-yard line 1,000 times. That one time that you land in the crowd, that one time you land on a flagpole, that's when you become nationally known for that team that messed up. So he taught me when to say, hey, this isn't good for the team. Let's sit down and we'll do the next jump later. So the safety aspect of being a leader in high
Boy, that's
stress
some pretty profound
situations.
wisdom. What a smart leader. What a great leader to have as a mentor. Tyler, I mean, like, I don't want to say top it,
Yeah.
but like that's your big brother. But man, that's what a
no, I don't
what a
think I
great role
can.
model you have
But
as a big brother.
yeah, um, I
I
was
love
his
it.
role
He's
model.
so chirpy.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this
I know
isn't
it's not.
something
That's why
new
I
I'm
said
putting
like
on
they're
for the
like
camera. I
this is
promise you.
this is what it's like, and I love it.
Yeah, yeah. So first, I would like Rourke Cutchlow was the first strength coach to like kind of take me under his wing, and he just got me to like work with like these massive football players, and he's like, "What the fuck you doing? Get in there, go, stop, like go coach," you know. And so it got me not afraid to get in there, touch people, move people, like and instruct and like lead. So that was good. And then I have Jody Hayes, who's my team sergeant at the time, and or squad, and he I have a fiery personality. Like you give me an inch, I'm gonna take a yard. Like that's just how I roll. And he ended up with a team of like 10 of me, and he managed us so good. So we had him, Brent Alvar. He was my scientific advisor while I was at the NSCA when I wrote that. Well, not
You were a
I
part of
said
it.
I wrote that book. There was multiple people in the mix. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't just, yeah. Well, I was lead on it. But he was my scientific advisor. So the aspect like people, I'm not. I know my science. I know certain things, but like some scientists stand up and they're like, "Well, what about the correlation?" and like go down in the nerd tunnel that I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying anymore. He would be the one that stand up and like, "No, this is what I think you mean." And then for him, like the practitioners or the strength coaches would stand up and challenge what he's saying. And so we just kind of translated each other. So learned to kind of work both sides of the fence. And he really helped me do that. Then by military leader, I think one of the best military leaders I've seen. And I was in the Army. This guy's an Air Force colonel for Special Warfare Training Wing. He was the first one. He's actually the one. It was his brain baby. But Ron Stanger, like I haven't seen a more passionate person, and he had Stangerisms. He would say things, and you're like, how the hell did he think of like wording it like that? But it stuck in your head. And then also from Special Warfare, my last colonel, George Booth, is like at the end of my time in Special Warfare, I overextended myself. I was burnt out. I already knew I was going to leave, but I I knew I needed to leave and be a good leader
Yeah.
and take the tactical knee because I knew I was burnt out. Like I'd been working a long time, and when you're grind, you need to learn to
Yeah.
like take that knee and just say I'm done. Like I'll step back, somebody else.
To all my
But
other leaders out
I
there,
love it.
I want to say that I didn't forget you guys. I was just using
I
my
love
most
it.
recent
This is
leader.
the
oh,
So,
cover your ass, cover your ass. But
hey,
let me say this last
yeah.
like George
You know,
Booth, he showed compassion. So he understood
I
that I
get
was
it.
burnt out,
And,
and
Corey, that's a great point. There's been so many
so
great leaders that I've had throughout my career that have invested in me.
yeah,
And I read a book, and the name of it escapes me. I'll think of it, and I'm going to send it to you guys. That one of my childhood friends that I'm still best friends with to this day, his name's Nate Bockel. We've been friends since first grade. He's a doctor. He's a urologist, and he sent me this book. And it's "Be the Man That You've Meant to Be" or something like that. It's the exact. I don't have the title right, but in there's a profound statement that states that how dare you be so cocky to say or to believe that, like most people will say that like I'm a self-made man, right? And it goes to it goes and it challenges that thought of saying, how dare you be so cocky as to believe that? And for a long time earlier in my career, I'm like, yeah, I'm self-made, like, and when I read this book, it hit me like someone hit me in the head with a baseball bat, and it's like, God, that's an arrogant stance because it's wrong. We are a sum of the people that have invested into us, right? And I love how each of you have called out the mentors and leaders
100%.
that have put the extra effort and significance of investment of leadership into you. And I could go on for a long time about all the people that have done that for me. But this isn't about me tonight. This is about you guys and lifting you up and sharing your stories with the world on Leaders Lead and introducing you to a brand new ecosystem of people. And I couldn't be more honored to do that.
For us, anything we can ever do for you, please let us know. We appreciate everything you do for the veterans, for what we're doing.
I appreciate that. This is my favorite part of the entire show, because this is where it's the most selfless part.
Uh-oh.
And this is where everyone squirms a little bit. And this is why I do it. Like, we talked about the belt. We talked about what you guys are doing. We got to share some personal stories. Talked about some leadership lessons that we get to pass on, which is fantastic, by the way. And I want to personally say thanks for investing your time into who's next, right? And whoever that is that watches this, wherever it touches, that's what this is about. But right now it's about you. It's about you two, right? I'm going to help you with the belt. I'm going to help you figure out how to network that. Outside of that, I'm going to ask you to set that aside. What can I do for you? What can this community of Leaders Lead do for you? What can the people that are going to listen to this, subscribe to this podcast, what message do you want to leave them with? Like, what can we do for each of you? And so there's two of you, so there's two takeaway messages, which is like, whoo. So I'm not even going to pick who goes first. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Tyler, though, because... Oh.
I'm thinking.
I'm not saying anything. I just said...
Yeah, let him go.
I don't know either. We're going to see
I don't know if I'm pointing
out.
the right way at him, but whoever.
I'm going to go with a problem that I personally have is impersonate, or what is it?
Okay.
Imposter
syndrome. I deal with that ever since I got out of the military. For those getting out of the military, you're going to go through it. And I actually recently listened to a podcast similar to this one, stating that if you haven't gone through something similar, that you're possibly an imposter. But for me, I definitely deal with it, and it is a daily problem that I have to work through. So I would tell everybody to find that leader, that model, that role model, somebody to look up to getting out of the military, and find that help to progress.
What can we do for you? I'm looking at Cory right now.
Are you looking at
Cory?
me?
That was a statement.
No.
What can we do for you?
Because I didn't say that. Okay.
How?
Damn. Okay. Maybe Tyler going first.
Well, I honestly, I think us just continue to communicate, friendship, brotherhood.
There you go.
I really value the aspect of, like, I think masculinity is, like, the brotherhood of masculinity is missing in the community. Not saying toxic masculinity or any of that stuff, but just like a true, like, brotherhood. I think that's missing in a lot of communities. So I think just continue to communicate amongst guys of positive behaviors, of positive, like, things to be role models for each other, like, and just embrace each other. I think that's all I need is like,
Yeah.
like, we're all growing, we're all learning. It's just like, let's learn in a positive, whether you're religious, whether it's Christianity.
Yep.
I mean, most of the fundamental religions have the same values. But if we continue to teach ourselves how to be positive, how to lead, how to,
Awesome.
do the right things,
We're gonna help
I
you
think
with
that's
that.
huge.
Cory.
I have to agree with the brotherhood, the building our network. So, like, now we have you. Now we have anybody that's listening to this. If they see a possible in or another use for anything that we've talked about,
Yeah.
or if something struck you, reach out to us. Let us know. Let us know how we did,
Yeah.
because that helps me
Awesome.
grow as an individual as well.
Guys, I want you to.
What,
You know
Zach?
what? You know
Zach,
what?
you're not getting off the hook. How can we help you?
There you go.
You know, I don't like this one.
Tricky question. Huh?
It's not about me today. It's about you.
No,
And
no, not taking a bullshit
yeah, I
answer.
know, and I didn't accept it, did
I
I?
tried
So,
that one.
you know, my vision for this thing is that it becomes infectious energy. Like, I want this to be a spot where people come to and they hear uplifting messages. I want this to be a spot where people aspire to come to. They want to say, "Man, I want to go be a part of that." Like, I can't wait for the next thing to drop. And here's why. It's not about me, because that means we're making an impact. It means that the stories and the messages that we're sharing are truly making a difference. That's what matters to me about this. It's about the scale of impact. When I started this, I had one mission. I was scared out of my mind. When you talk about imposter syndrome, I hear you. I truly hear you, Cory. Like, I might get emotional on this one. I hear you. I was scared out of my goddamn mind. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had a coach behind me, Mike Sorelli. He's like, you got this. Right? I didn't know what I was doing. The first time I edited a video, it took me 9 hours. 9 hours. But I didn't quit. I had resilience. I pushed through it. No one there to teach me. I didn't even know what button to push to call. Like, I didn't even know what it was called. But I didn't give up. And this is the first thing I've never, truly let anybody get in my way on. I've never had somebody tell me I couldn't do it. I'm just doing it. Why? Because I'm going to create a better community for everyone. This is about making it better than it was. This is solving the problems that I ran into when I didn't have a job. Where do I go look? What voices do I hear? I need to hear positivity. That's what this is. I want to make it infectious so people want to come here. I want them to listen. I want them to hear this, and I want to make an impact. That's it. I don't want any money from it. I'm not looking for that. It's not to go be like this big raspy voice on a podcast and sell. No, nothing that I'm doing I'm looking to get rich from. Nothing. It's all about how do I give back to the community. Period. None of those are my motivations. I only care about scale because of impact. That's it. And how do we scale fast so we can make impact? Period. I don't care about anything else. And so if I can help you scale your belt, that means it saves somebody's life. If I help the grind toothpaste guy get into more stores, it means that he's making more impact to give more donations back to our community. If I help Berserker Boards do his thing and grow his stuff, which I'm helping him with, it means that he's gonna make an impact, and it's gonna provide a livelihood for him. To me, it's different. I'm not doing this with selfish intent.
Mm-hmm.
None of this is about me. It's about you guys. My family, they're suffering from it. I'm stealing from them because I want to help others. And at the same time, I'm helping myself. This is therapeutic for me to help others. If you ever have a shitty day and you want to, you're struggling, go help someone else. That's how Leaders Lead started. I lost my job and I felt like shit. And I went and I helped my friend, Lieutenant Colonel Steve Myers, who just retired from the Marine Corps. I was having one of the worst days ever, just lost my job, and I didn't have a job. And I said, I'm going to go do something for someone else, and I'm going to help my buddy. And we set up cameras in his living room. I'm like, dude, I'm going to interview you, and we're gonna figure this out. I'm going to help you, and that's what I'm going to do. And that's how Leaders Lead actually started. And I did hashtag Leaders Lead. And then 8 months later, my first guest, and I had my graphic designer for the coffee company make me a logo, and it spun up. My first guest was a NASCAR driver who owns a team with Emmett Smith. Holy shit! And I met that person through the journey of like reinventing who I was.
Nice.
Because no one stopped me. And I didn't listen to the stuff that was in my head saying, you can't do it.
awesome.
The imposter syndrome stuff in my head. Right? And so I encourage you, Cory, overcome it every day. I deal with it every day. You can too.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you, no one's
We
got
all
it figured out.
we all do. My last job.
And that's why this
Yeah.
community is so important to me.
And you're still
And I don't want anything other than brotherhood.
doing Pillar of
Yep, Pillars of Valor.
You're still doing Pillar of Valor as
Yep,
well.
I give back 7%
which
of
gives
my
back
top
to
line
veterans
revenue
as well.
to a Minnesota nonprofit.
awesome.
And that nonprofit's sole purpose is to say thank you to veterans. Period. And so,
Yep.
like, none of this is
We appreciate everything.
like, dude,
Yeah,
I
thanks.
lost money.
Thanks, brother.
Like, my first year, I didn't make a penny, and I still chose to pay it forward. And I couldn't be more proud. And
Yeah.
Hey,
sorry,
fellow
you
Iowans,
got
we're
me.
proud
Like,
of
this
you
is
too.
why I don't like to answer the question, but that's what this means to me. It's not.
Yeah. See, this is what you do to us.
Damn you.
And I'm just saying.
Good thing you don't have the heart rate monitor on me, because you would have saw it just go boop,
goodness.
critical. Guys, I love you.
Nah. No, I liked
Yeah.
I liked
I
watching
love you
stand
guys.
up on your
I'm
soapbox.
honored
I like
to
that.
be a part of your tribe. I'm honored to call you friends. I'm thankful for each of you.
Yeah, thanks.
You have my number. If you ever need anything, if you're struggling, you need a moment, call me. I will answer. That's
Friday
cool.
night,
It
I'm just
it
gonna
might
call
take
you
a
at
couple
2
calls.
a.m.
'Cause I
just
might be
because.
sleeping, but
Oh yeah,
you know
I'll
how to
double
get a
ring
hold of
that
me.
so we get
And once again,
the ring
guys,
going through.
you have
Just
my
kidding.
personal commitment to help you in whatever way, means, and network that I can help you to be successful. And I mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Any
It's
way
a
we
that's
can
two-way
what
help
this,
you,
street.
let
that's
us
what
know.
this is about. Is a different level of tribe. So welcome to the Alumni Association of Leaders Lead. It's taken Iowa and putting it national.
Thank you.
That's what this is. So, guys, I love you. Thanks for
Hell
being on
yeah.
Leaders Lead. I appreciate you. Everybody have a great night. Sorry about my soapbox. And this is what Iowa is all about. It's about true, authentic love for one another. Have a great night.